What's up, guys? Welcome back to Who Needs a Name with PB&J.
Hey,
I'm Josh.
I'm Brandon.
Oh, dude, this is gonna be a good one. I'm excited.
Who knows what episode this is? I don't know, but
Off rip, I want to say excuse me for my attire, because as you can see, I look homeless.
I decided to dress up a little bit for this one. You know, I'm still a little energetic. I got some energy.
I picked my outfit first, and he said, "Hold on, let me put on these pants and this jacket."
Yeah,
I
if you
wanna
can't
be
see the
fancy.
pants, it's a whole vibe.
It's brown with black, which is not a vibe.
It's brown with black and white.
which is not a vibe.
It's a
in
vibe
fact.
tonight.
Okay.
Josh, what are we talking about tonight?
I think we're gonna talk about habits,
Habits,
and more so just like our daily life.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and how to create healthy habits in your life.
Yeah.
So, Josh,
Brandon.
what are your thoughts on the entire idea of creating habits?
On the entire
Yes, the
thing of
entirety of it.
I think it is overlooked.
Okay.
I think it's overlooked, but yet everyone talks about it, but doesn't
Yeah.
really take it for the value that it should be taken
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
I think the root of it is just discipline.
Uh-huh.
Discipline and wisdom.
Yeah.
Creating like habits. For me personally, it's not like easy. Or actually, I'll start talking about it this way too. There's good habits and there's bad habits.
Yeah.
Right? It goes both ways. It's just the things you do on a daily basis
Yeah.
that you're consistent about.
Yeah.
And so you can decide whether those are good things or whether those are bad things.
Yeah, yeah. Craig Rochelle, Brother Craig.
Brother Craig.
And we probably said this exact quote, but he always says basically that outstanding people do consistently what ordinary people do occasionally.
Yeah.
And the entire idea is basically that as you develop daily habits in your life, you're creating these pathways that are going to produce who you are tomorrow. And you may not always see that progression and the significance of it on the day-to-day,
Yeah.
but you will in hindsight. Let's talk Tough Mudder.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, guys. A little bit ago, we did a Tough Mudder, which if you don't know what a Tough Mudder is, it's basically, we did a 15K
It's
long
tough
one.
and it's muddy.
Yeah, a lot. And so we did 15K, which is a little bit less than 10 miles.
Yeah.
And basically what it was is an obstacle course in the mud. In like the outdoors, it was crazy. There was
Yeah.
electricity, there was water, there was an ice bath.
Yeah.
There was like these huge things we had to climb.
30-foot net you need to climb up in the
Yeah.
air. It was ridiculous. There
They
were
had
so
like
many
the
things.
half pipe wall off of American Ninja Warrior.
American Ninja Warrior.
Which was
there
so
were like
cool.
3 Ninja Warrior courses.
Yeah, the ones where you had like the ladder, you gotta like the monkey bars over the water and everything.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It took us 6 hours to do.
Yeah.
I'm still sore and I'm beat up after
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Oh, me too.
I pulled
We're-
my oblique.
No, he
And I know
genuinely
I haven't
did.
told anyone about this.
That's all he talks about.
I pulled my oblique.
Literally, you pulled it so bad that you didn't get hit in the oblique, yet it's bruised.
Dude, I showed
That's
you.
how bad.
So halfway throughout the course, I lost my shirt.
Yeah.
By lost, I mean tore it off.
Yeah.
And so when I pulled it, and it was so dumb, dude.
Yeah.
It was after the half pipe thing.
Yeah.
I did it without the rope. I ran up there and I grabbed it and I climbed on. I was like, this
Yeah.
is so cool. I was helping other people up. And then on my way down, the part that's supposed to be easy, I
Yeah.
turned and I pulled my oblique. So dumb. But I didn't have a shirt on. And I was like, ow, I really pulled something here. And B was like, I can see. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like, it's
Yeah.
red. It's like bruised.
Yeah.
And it hurts, man.
I know. But so fun.
It was a
So
lot of
worth
fun.
it.
I would do
will
it again.
we do it again?
I
You
would,
will?
yeah.
I would do it again, I think. I
Yeah.
think.
If I do
I
it.
say that now, but I'm still feeling it. But the reason why I bring that up when it comes to habits is, if we would have never worked out or gone to the gym
Oh, wow.
or done these things on a
Yeah.
consistent basis and just tried jumping into the Tough Mudder, we wouldn't have been able to do a lot of the things that we did. And you're
100%.
still far more advanced than I am, right? Like you did more than I did. But I look back, and we talked about this in the working out video that we did in the fitness episode, but like we started working out 8 months ago and I couldn't do a pull up and I couldn't do anything physically with my body. I had no
Yeah.
upper body strength, and I was able to do some crazy obstacles
Yeah, dude,
that I
I'm
couldn't even
so proud of you.
imagine. I know you really were. It was really cool. But the reason why is not because I signed up for one event and did one thing to push my body. It's been this progression over 8 months. And I just think that principle is true of literally every aspect of your life. It's like, I don't know, if you want a relationship with God, you can have that overnight. But if you really want to grow in deep intimacy with him, It's because you have habits in place that are going to allow you to walk with him every single day. Agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think, to be straight with you guys, if you want good things in life, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
Obviously maybe there are exceptions,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
I think for the majority, like if you want some good things in your life that are long lasting, it's going to take some time to build those things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want this huge $1 million building, right, and you expect it to be built overnight, it's just not going to happen. So, and I think that's what comes, like that's what's so important about habits, right? It's the things we do every day consistently that they compound, right? That compounding effect that build on top of each other, that really set us up for like great things in life. Like the Tough Mudder, just like you said, it's like when I started working out, I wasn't planning on doing the Tough Mudder, but it's like because I've been working out for like almost every day when I can. Like for a year now, I've been able to, and I trained a little bit for the Tough Mudder, but it's not like I specifically did. I just did my normal things. It's like I was able to do things because of the things I did every single day.
Yeah. It's building those healthy habits into your life that if you want to accomplish something big one day, start with small steps that will lead you to that.
Oh, yeah, like not even necessarily small steps, but just starting it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, let's take the podcast, for example. Like, obviously, we didn't expect all 6.5 million of you guys to be listening so early.
I think we're up to 8.
Yeah, we love all of you guys. But, in a serious note, it's like we're not expecting anything huge on episode 1.
Yeah.
Like, we know, like, if this is going to be something we want to be great over time, like, it's gonna take the work. We're gonna have to put in the work.
Yeah.
And so it's like we do 1 episode. Now we're doing 2 episodes a week, and we know, like, over time, we're gonna look back and we're gonna be like, wow, look how far we've came. Like, look at what we've created. And it's because we took the steps. We took each individual step we need to take that compounded over time to not only get us to where we were, but that we learned so much along the way. I think that has like the not necessarily the byproduct, but the things that come second nature from habits. Like when you go to the gym, like yes, you're gonna get strong, but also the things you learn mentally, the things you learn about community, the things you learn about discipline, and even like how you should be eating, how you should be taking care of your body. And it all started with, I just want to start working out.
100%. Dave Ramsey, who
money guy,
he says this thing that he applies to money, but that I think applies to everything in life. He says, if you want to live like somebody else, start living like somebody else. In other words, like if one day you aspire to live like somebody who you see, start living not like the people you see around you, but like that person, right? And so setting yourself up with healthy habits that over a long amount of time, that compounding effect, which we've talked about a good bit on the podcast, but really, like, let's get personal about it. All right, so like, what are some habits, Josh, that you have built into your life? They can be stupid, serious, spiritual, emotional, like, I don't know. What are healthy habits that you've implemented in your life that you would recommend for other people to do the same?
I mean, gym, number 1. But I mean, we've talked about that for so long. I think another one that is super healthy is journaling. And you might be thinking, it's like, oh, like you just want me to just like write down how I'm feeling like every day. Like, not necessarily, but to some extent, like, yes, it's what you're doing. And I feel like that habit has helped me realize the things that like I experience and be able to handle them in a healthy and honestly a mature way. Right? Because it's crazy, because it's like, okay, this thing happened to me. Instead of holding it in, instead of letting it just like build up inside of me, I get to write it out and express how I'm feeling. And in that sense, like, I know sometimes it feels better doing it that way, or even sometimes like just like talking to someone about it. You ever have like a problem or something on your mind, and then you just like let it out to someone, and you're like, why was I even feeling like that in the first place? It's only because you just needed to get it out of your system. So I think that's super huge. I think another thing, and Craig talks about this too. Flossing.
Okay,
because not a lot of people do it. You'd be surprised. And for me, it wasn't something that like I did every day. I mean, every once in a while. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I have a dentist appointment in the week. Let me start flossing. Let me start flossing. But it was like, it's under the principle of doing something consistently that's small. And having the small wins, starting off your day with a small win. And so I think that's a really good habit too. Starting your day off with a small win. it can look like flossing. It can look like making your bed. That's one too.
Yeah.
Like I used to be like, why do I need to make my bed? I'm just gonna sleep in it later.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
now I'm just like, I have to make my bed.
Yeah.
Because it just sets me up. It's like, okay, I made my bed. Now, like, what else can I do for the day?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's huge. What about you? What are some habits that you've developed that you have? You don't have any?
Smack the mic. No.
No habits?
I said no. I'm not going to answer that question. I feel like I have become kind of habit obsessed.
Interesting.
And when I think about my day to day, I also practice journaling, specifically like around gratitude, because I just feel like we have so much to be thankful for and grateful for. And whenever you force yourself to dwell on those things, I don't know, it just helps with all the other things you may face. So journaling is a thing. I have a lot of spiritual habits.
I was gonna say, I didn't even mention getting in my word and
Yeah,
praying and
it's
all
okay.
that.
You're flossing. Forget about the Bible, bro. You got clean teeth. You're good.
Lord's like, you did not accept Jesus as your savior, but boy, are your teeth nice.
Boy, are they good. Oh no, you know Jesus.
I love Jesus.
So, like spiritual habits that I would recommend to people, whether you feel like it or not, get in your word, right? Get in your Bible. And so for me, I'm like, okay, habit, I'm going to read at least a chapter a day, right? And just ask the Lord to speak to me. I'm going to pray and I'm going to seek him. And I try to make that, for me, it used to be waking up and my habit was check your phone, right? Check my phone, roll over, check my phone. And I've tried to switch my habit to be just pray a simple prayer, before I start the day. So it could literally just be as simple as like, thank you God for another day. Like reveal to me whatever you want to today. And let me just,
it sets the tone for the day. It
sets the tone.
Yeah.
And it gets it right. And so I'll do that. Personal habits, I'm not saying are for everybody, but like I drive a lot. And so I will try to listen to exactly one full message in 20 minutes of another. I don't know why, but I just, it just
no, I
feels
think
right.
that, I mean, service level, that's a little quirky of you, but like,
I know it makes sense. It's
but
me.
No, but like in my brain, it's like, oh, because it's like, if you listen to 20 minutes, then that's like less than like half sometimes that you have left. And it's like, oh, like I'll finish this one. And then it's like, oh, I finished this one. I'll listen to another one.
Yeah.
So I think it's easy to keep that cycle going.
Yeah. So
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
What else?
You mentioned working out.
Yeah.
That's become a habit. We're doing 75 hard right now, which is in fact hard to do.
Within that, reading a book every day.
Reading a book every day.
Really cool.
10 pages.
Especially not just, I don't know how you necessarily read.
Yeah.
But with this book that I'm reading, it's some Leadership 2.0 by
John Maxwell. Yeah.
And what I've been doing, like I read 10 pages a day, but it took me about like 30 to like 45 minutes to read all of it.
Yeah.
Because I would read and then I have like this journal that I use, or this notebook that I write my notes down when I'm reading.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, especially with that type of book, it's like a self-help book in a sense, right?
Yeah.
How to be a better leader. So I read and then I take notes on what I read so that I really remember it.
Yeah.
And throughout, I mean, we're only like, 6 days into this challenge. I think, like 6 days.
Yeah.
Tomorrow would be day 6.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Within that has been a really cool habit that I want to honestly continue to do.
Yeah. I love that, dude. Another random one that I like to do every single day is I try to send encouraging voice memo to somebody.
Oh, I love that.
And I've just found that literally encourages me. And it's beneficial for them. So I would encourage that for people as well. Like cool. It gets your focus off yourself. And it's like, hey, I'm thinking about you. I'm praying about you. I'm praying for you about X, Y, and Z.
Well, I mean, you are praying about them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I think that's pretty good. But what I've also realized is with that, you need to kill old habits.
I was just saying we should get into some bad habits that we had.
Yeah.
One that I'm still trying to kick is nail biting and like picking at my nails.
Really? How bad is it?
It's pretty bad. It's not as bad as it used to be. I catch myself sometimes. Yeah. But it's just like nervousness or sometimes just like out of like boredom. Yeah. Like even like now I just kind of like pick or like. Yeah. It used to be really bad. Or I don't bite as much now unless when I'm really nervous. Yeah. Or like I'm driving and I'm really nervous and I'm just chomping on these things. Bro, it's just like lunchtime. I'm just chomping, bro. But I've been trying to kick that thing for a
Yeah.
while. One habit that I did kick was vaping.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was an addiction, but also a habit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it was a habit. It was a thing that I did every day.
Talk about it. How'd you do it?
If you want to replace a habit, or if you want to lose a habit, let me rewind.
He's a little tired.
Yeah, I'm a little tired here, boys and girls and everyone else. Dogs, if you're watching, I don't know.
Who knows?
Your dog could be in the room while you're listening.
That's
I don't
fair.
know.
That's fair.
If you want to lose a habit, replace it with another one. Mm-hmm. And that's what really helped me kick the habit of vaping. Yeah. It's like initially it was like a oral fixation, right? Because it was something I was like puffing on.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, what could I do? And this is funny. I got the floss picks. These floss picks that were like almost floss, but they had like toothbrush ones too.
Yeah.
So anytime that I had like a craving for it, I'd pop one of those in and just kind of like chew on it a little bit, like brush my teeth a little bit.
Yeah.
Lollipops, and I know it's not necessarily another habit.
Yeah.
But
it replaced
the
habit,
the action of it. But a habit I did create from it was just like anytime that I did get the craving for that addiction, the craving to do that habit was pray.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's just to pray. It's to like, Lord, like I have this craving, I have this addiction that I don't want.
Yeah.
Like I'm giving it to you. Help me get through this craving.
Yeah.
Put something else on my mind. Like just help me get through this. Like, because honestly, with habits, it's like it's the small wins, right? It's doing it. Or in that case, it's not doing it every day.
Yeah.
And I think it has that compound effect. Has the same value towards it. And I think it could be different. Actually, I just watched a video about this by Andrew Huberman, if you know who he is. He's
I know the name.
Psychologist.
Okay.
And he says it takes, and this is so crazy, that it can take between 18 days to like 250 days to create a new habit.
Yeah.
And that's all dependent on the person and the habit you're trying to break or get, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that just shows the power of doing something every day.
Dude, that's so good.
Isn't that crazy?
Because it's easy to get discouraged along the way too.
Mm-hmm. So easy.
And to be like, oh my gosh, 15 days into this, why am I still tempted by it, or why am I still struggling with it? Years ago, I heard this message by Stephen Furtick called "Don't Stop on 6." And the entire premise, not to make it all spiritual, but this is good for literally anybody, believer or not. But the entire premise was, if you know the story of Joshua in Jericho, and God tells them to go around for 6 days and march around the town of Jericho and the walls of it for one lap for 6 days. And then he says on the seventh day, march 7 times around the city. And he really walks us through. And this was so profound to me.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people who God says, go and do this, it makes absolutely zero sense. But what do? They go out one day and they walk around that wall and they're faithful. They walk around the second day and they take another lap and another journey around that wall. All the while, the enemy is probably laughing at them. Like, what in the world? Day 3, they do the same thing. Day 4, they do this. You can assume by day 6, they're like, what in the world? And you can assume on day 7, on lap 6, they're like, why are we seeing no results? But his entire premise is don't stop on 6 because 7's right around the corner and breakthrough's right around the corner.
Oh,
and
that's so good. Come on,
I
man.
know. And I think with habits, it's kind of the same way. It's like, why do I feel like I've been, maybe you're like, oh, I haven't done this for 1 day. I haven't done this for 2 days. I haven't done it for 3. Why am I still struggling? It takes time.
Yeah.
But the reality is eventually you will see the breakthrough, and you will see that if you just stay consistent and if you just stay faithful. So it's not really easy to break habit or to instill a new one. Like Dr. Caroline Leaf talks a lot about that. I've mentioned her before, but like the way that your brain has to reprocess and
I was just thinking about that as we started this episode, how like when you do new things, your neural pathways create new paths. And so the more you do them, the more easily they go through. It's like when you go through like a thing of grass, right? At first it's just like a whole bunch of grass, but then as you keep walking through, a path gets made. And I think that's so cool.
And what also happens whenever you don't walk through a path for a while, the path begins to disappear. And so your brain is the same way. So old habits that you've created a path can become overgrown again and no longer the default. And you can create your own path. And so the encouragement really is, look at where you want to be in life. What are you pursuing? What are you striving to achieve with your life?
Yeah.
And what decisions do you need to make today? And what do you need to make habits in your life to arrive at that one day?
Yeah. Oh, it's like, imagine this, right? Imagine you're at a red light, right?
Yeah.
And you've made the right turn every single day. Mm-hmm. And every single time you've regretted it.
Yeah.
Every single time it has not done you well.
Yeah.
But it's habit, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
But you can turn left.
Yeah.
And turning left is going to be so good for you. It's going to start you off with such a good habit. It's going to benefit you. It's going to start you off on such a good like life.
Yeah.
But every day you have the choice to turn right or to go left.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you going to choose?
Your direction determines your destiny.
Exactly. So it's like, imagine, it's a day by day thing. And so it's like every day, are you going to turn left or are you going to go right?
Yeah.
I saw this video of this one guy. He says, I'm going to choose to be sober today. He was an alcoholic. And so he was recovering alcoholic. He says, I'm going to choose to be sober today. Tomorrow, maybe I won't.
Yeah.
But he's like, today I'm going to choose to be sober.
Yeah.
And obviously he has that mentality every single day.
Yeah.
But it's like, he's like, today I'm going to be sober.
Yeah.
And I feel like the power of what you do in a day is so...
Yeah.
That's what's undervalued. How I talked about earlier, habits are undervalued. I think what you can do in a day is undervalued. Because yes, things need to be compounded to be so great.
Yeah.
But you can't get that compound effect if you don't do it every day.
That's so good, dude. That daily decision. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Mm-hmm. Steward the day that you have.
Be a good steward.
I think that's so good.
Yeah.
So what are some ways, like practically speaking, okay, you said replace the habit. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you're replacing a habit, how do you determine, like, what am I replacing this with?
So I think ultimately you need to, let me take a couple steps back here. If you want to get rid of a habit, it's for some reason, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know your why, you're not going to have the strong enough determination and discipline to get through it.
Yeah. That's so good.
Because that's what happened with me in vaping for a while. It's like, okay, I'm going to stop vaping. And I never did because I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why do I'm just doing it because people tell me it's not good for me and all these things.
Yeah.
I had to really understand and want for myself that, like, okay, I want this, so I can't be doing this. And that's my why.
Yeah.
So when it comes to habit, it's like, okay, this habit is causing me to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want this, so I can't be doing this.
That's good.
So then the new habit has to be, okay, if I don't want this, then you have to want something else.
Yeah.
And so what will get you to that something else?
Yeah.
So I think that's how you determine what your new habit is. Let's take, I don't know, working out, for example, right?
Sure.
You want to start working out. Or actually, let's simplify it a little bit. You want to start reading a book, right? But you're like, I spend so much time on my phone.
Yeah.
But I want to start reading. I don't want to spend time on my phone anymore. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to start reading a book. Okay, so then you have to, if you want to start reading a book, put your phone somewhere where you don't can't get it. Make it so easy for yourself to do this habit. Do everything in your power.
Yeah.
So it is so easy to start this new habit.
Yeah.
It's like, not to keep going back to the vaping thing, but it's like,
okay,
if you want to stop vaping, throw it away. And not just put it in your garbage can and then go back to your bed. It's like, no, like throw it in your garbage can, go take out the trash and go throw it in a ball of fire. Like, get rid of it. Like for real. Like if you are so set on starting a new habit, you have to be so set on losing the old one.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that's so good. That's actually a bar.
That's a bar,
that's it
bro.
right there. Someone make that a song.
It's a clip.
That's definitely a clip. I love that. This is kind of not related. It's a funny story about vaping, but I had this youth kid one time who could not stop vaping.
See, the next thing.
And I told him, I was like, dude, you need to pull out all the stops. Like, you need to do whatever it takes. Get rid of all your vapes. Like, just go ahead and do it. And so we went on this whole journey, and it's kind of hilarious. But he came into youth the one night, and he was just so proud of himself. And I was like, dude, like, you're so... I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? He's like, I did it. I got rid of my vapes. Like, they're all gone. Like, every last one of them. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I'm like, what did you do with them? And he's like, I sold them to my friend for a profit. And I was like, I'm proud of you. Like, let's go.
That's
Like,
not something I would recommend.
no, I would not. Don't sell it to your friend and don't give your friend the bad habit. But
Yeah.
still, get rid of the habit. Like, it's
Ooh.
100% worth it.
Ooh,
What?
that's something too. The people around you, if you're trying to lose that habit, you can't be around the people that even have the habit or are okay with that habit.
Yeah, that's good.
You have to
That's
get around
good.
you have to get around people who have the habit that you want.
Woo!
Right? It's like if you want to stop vaping, if you want to stop getting
Yeah.
drunk and all these things, okay, stop hanging out around people who think it's okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't
and
mean
who
stop.
are going to push it at you.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's not saying don't be friends with them. Not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying if you have a habit of doing something and there are people who are okay with it,
Yeah.
then that's a vulnerable state for you to be like, okay, then like I can do this and get away with it, right?
Dude.
So even in that case, like let your friends know, be like, hey, I'm starting to do this. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I've had friends who don't necessarily have the same habit as me, but love me as a person, love me as
Yeah.
a friend and a brother.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like if you're saying this, I'm keeping you accountable.
Yeah.
So you have to have people in your
Yeah.
corner who are keeping you accountable.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I also think it's probably important to hit real quick on the idea that oh, wait, that was so good.
What?
Just, no, that entire idea that you just brought up that, like, who you surround yourself with is in large part going to impact the habits that you cultivate and you create in your life. It's like we have stretched each other in many ways, but if you actually look, a lot of the habits have rubbed off on each other. Like a lot of the things that I do, you do, and you do, I do, because we're around each other a lot. We're really close. And as a result of that, we kind of start to mirror each other in practice. So, like, I think what you said just needs a little highlight on it. Like,
Yeah,
if I
it's
can
like,
do one thing, I just want to highlight it. Like,
Yeah,
if you don't like who you are, look at who you're around.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. It's like even taking it back into the old days, like with like tribes.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're not going to be part of a tribe and do something differently. You know, like your tribe is your family, your tribe is your circle, and it's
Yeah.
like you and your circle are going to do the same things every day
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like who's your tribe? Who's your circle?
That's
Right?
good. That's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's so important. Also, not every habit is physical. Like a lot of habits are mental too. Like I think if I had to say recently, like the biggest habits that I've been aware of that I'm like, oh my gosh, these are really bad, have been a lot of my thoughts. A lot of my thought habits.
Yeah.
I realized like 2 weeks ago that I'm alarmingly not present in the moment.
Oh.
Like I have a
I catch
habit.
myself like that sometimes.
Yeah, I have a habit, and this won't surprise you at all. I have a habit in my thoughts to be so big picture and future oriented. What's the
Yeah.
future have in store? Where am I going with my life? What is the Lord calling me to? And that I miss the moments in the here and now.
Yeah.
And I felt such a conviction around that. And so I have like, I wouldn't say I found the best way to actually kind of kill that thought habit, but I'd say I'm working on it.
Yeah.
And like anytime I catch myself doing that, I try to redirect and just be
Yeah.
like, okay, where am I? Who am I with? That I can be intentional with.
Yeah, I find that so interesting between me and you because that dynamic is not similar. Like you are so future oriented, you are so visionary, and
Yeah.
I'm like now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is
Yeah.
going on now? What
Yeah.
can I do now? What do I
Yeah.
have to do now?
Yeah.
And so it's like you'll ask me like, oh, what do you want to do in so and so, or like, what are you thinking about like in a year or in 2 years? And like, bro, I'm not worried about tomorrow, but I'm thinking about today. I'm thinking about
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool how God has placed us together because
Yeah.
I can also lean into that visionary aspect too because
Yeah.
of the future as well.
Yeah.
It's like I could be
Yeah.
so stuck in the moment that I don't prioritize, okay, what do I want for my future and what do I have to do to get there?
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
be so stuck on the day to day. So I
Yeah.
think that dynamic is cool.
It's actually really healthy and really
Yeah.
good, but either extreme is not great.
No, I think any extreme is not great.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
yeah. It's best to have, and I don't
Hence
think
it
you
being
pick
an
either.
extreme.
I don't think it's a middle. I think it's an integration of both. I think you should be
you said
passionately
this.
futuristic and passionately in the moment. I
Yeah.
think you can be 100% of both, not either or on a spectrum. Like it's great to have all of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, the habits
Mental
we create.
habits.
Mental
That's
habits
good.
are important. That's why Paul says, take every thought captive, make it obedient to Christ. Make it obedient to Christ. It's a war term, right?
Yeah.
It's literally saying there's a war in your mind. The natural default response.
Isn't that a Craig Rochelle book?
What?
The War in Your Mind. The War.
I think it's winning the war in your mind or something. Yeah. Is one of the most difficult battles to fight because it's so unseen. But again, cultivating those pathways in your brain, not just about what you do, but how you think, I think are so important. And that'll determine a lot of the why as to why you do things. So getting to the heart of it. It's
So
really
I think
important.
some encouragement to kind of wrap us up here.
Yeah.
If you want to start if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, I really don't think I have any habits, or like, oh, I can't really think of anything that I do that is like habit oriented.
Yeah.
One, you probably do have habits and you just don't realize them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And or two, okay, so sit down and think about why you don't have that.
Yeah.
So it's like you either don't care enough, not in like a mean way.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
you guys, so I'm being honest with you. So it's
Yeah.
like if you don't have any habits, it's like, okay, then like why?
Yeah.
And if you want something great for your life, if you want something great for your future, if you want anything someday,
Yeah.
you have to start one day. And
Yeah.
so let today
Yeah.
be that
Oh,
one
that's
day.
good. That's really
so
good.
it's like think about your future. What do you want? How can you get there? And what can you do today to start that?
Yeah. 100%.
Start that compounding effect.
Yeah, and don't make it unattainable either, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, your habit, if you've never played piano, should not be to go pick up a Beethoven book and play it, right?
Learn Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yeah, literally learn the most basic thing you can and start there, and every day work on that and cultivate a habit of
wins.
learning, right?
Cultivate a habit of small wins.
Yeah, and make it attainable. Make goals, make them attainable, make them so that on the daily you can attain them and achieve them. Because otherwise, you'll just get discouraged and burn out, and that's not good for anybody.
No, and then you complete those things, and you're like, wow, like
Yeah,
look at like not in a prideful way, but like wow, I completed this, I did this task.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything prideful about that. I just think in a sense of completing something, it's like wow, like I'm able to do the things I set out to do in life. So like what else can I do? And I think it really just has a snowballing and compounding
and
effect.
then eventually, sorry, your habits become instinctual.
Yeah.
which is so cool. Like the idea of muscle memory, even right?
Oh,
like what is
yeah.
that? That's literally just built in habits
Repetition.
that have become instinctual
Yeah.
because you do it time and time and time again. And I would say the same about any habit. It's like if you want to stop snoozing your alarm clock, start
I need to stop that.
just start with one day, and it's not going to feel normal, but eventually that just literally becomes part of who you are, right? That alarm goes up, you get out of bed, you do that. One time I had to put my alarm clock across the room.
I've done that
Yeah, because I would snooze
every time.
every 5 minutes because I was like, yeah, this is not good. So make it attainable. Make it consistent, and eventually that will become not just something you need to work on, but actually who you are, and you'll be so much better as a result of it.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, think about that why, think about that where do you want to be, and then think about how do I get there.
Even the who are you around?
Who are you? All the W's,
All the W's, even
and
the H's,
and even the H.
And on that, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. So,
think we're gonna wrap it
Brandon,
up.
I'll pray us out.
Cool. Go
All
for
right.
it.
Dear Lord, we just thank you for today. We thank you for this conversation. We just thank you for the ways that you're discipling us, that you're just showing us the disciplines that we need to integrate into our life, Lord. That with you, that we're able to conquer the daily tasks, the small wins, Lord, every day, just to become the person and the people that you've created us to be, Lord.
Yeah.
So we thank you for that, and we just thank you for the people who are going to start that habit today, who are going to turn their life around today, Lord. And we just pray that we just get closer to you, and we give you all the glory and the praise. And in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Love ya.
And we'll see you next episode.
Peace.